Hello, everybody. This is UFC Wildcat.
And I'm Powder Blue Bolts, and this week we're going to be talking about the Meineke Car Care Bowl of Texas between the Texas Tech Red Raiders and the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
And this bowl game looks kind of bad.
A bit of a mismatch.
A really big mismatch because Minnesota doesn't have an offense at all.
They don't have defense. They don't have a team.
They actually do. They're actually pretty good. I mean, they don't give up a lot of points, but have they played Texas Tech yet?
Have they played Texas Tech, who
I don't know,
averages 38 points a game and almost 400 yards passing per game?
You know, number 2 pass offense, but it's no big deal.
Have they played them? I don't think so. Anyways, Minnesota Golden Gophers, coming out of the Big Ten, have been one of the many middle-of-the-road teams in the Big Ten. I hate to say that, being an Ohio State fan. I like to see the Big Ten do well. However, you can't always win. At least Ohio State went undefeated. I'm happy about that. But I like to see them do well, and they haven't done that well this year. Their only good win, if you want to call it a good win, is against Syracuse, where they won 17-10 against Syracuse at home. Syracuse had a 7-5 record, so, I mean, it's a decent win. Other than that,
hey, Minnesota started out 4-0.
Started out 4-0 against New Hampshire, Western Michigan, UNLV, and Syracuse. But then they dropped 3 straight to Iowa, Northwestern, Wisconsin. 1 at home against Purdue. Lost to Michigan at home. Went into Illinois, beat 2-10 Illinois, 17-3. Then dropped their last 2 to Nebraska and Michigan State. So when they play the good teams, they really can't win, and when they play the bad teams, they barely win. Minnesota, just as a team, is just kind of a mess, really, and they kind of have been for years in the Big Ten. I'm not going to say they're a joke. I don't want to insult anybody. They've had moments of goodness. I mean, they've been decent in the past. But I don't think they have the speed on defense and the capability to defend a Texas Tech offense that is so explosive and can throw the ball all over you and can actually run the ball decent. And
yeah.
I don't see it happening for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. But you want to hit up on Texas Tech?
Yeah, I mean, what really sucks is we don't have anybody to highlight for Minnesota. There isn't one good player. They may have a good halfback.
Donnell Kirkwood's decent. That's about as far as it goes. He's pretty good. I mean, if he has an explosive game, then they could compete. Other than that,
yeah, it's really not anything. But you go to the other side of the ball, and you've got the number 2 pass offense, thanks to Seth Dagey. He's got almost 4,000 yards passing, 38 touchdowns, and only 14 picks.
And a completion percentage of 70%.
Which is unheard of. I mean, you got to love this Texas Tech offense. And then you also got 2 really good wide receivers in Eric Ward and Darren Moore, both having over 900 yards receiving, and both of them having double-digit touchdowns, Moore with 13 and Ward with 11. So, I don't know. This offense is really, really good, and they even have a decent halfback in Kenny Williams with 779 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. I don't know. You watch this team when they, completely shut down West Virginia, who everybody was saying, oh, Geno Smith Heisman, dude. West Virginia is one of the best teams. I remember Dari Ncaa on College Football Daily was raving about Geno Smith, and then he goes into Texas Tech and gets manhandled. So, I mean, I really don't think that they're going to be, I don't know. I don't think they're going to get stopped by Minnesota.
Yeah, and just to show you how good Seth Dagey really is and how just consistent he can be, and almost automatic at this point. At TCU is a good team. We've seen them compete in the past. They won the Rose Bowl 2 years ago, and they're a very good team. He went 30 for 42 with a 71% completion percentage for 318 yards and 7 touchdowns against a TCU secondary that has been very, very good in the past.
Man, I remember that game. That game was really exciting. Went down the wild, triple overtime, 56-53 win. Going to Fort Worth and winning. That was a really good win for them. And I liked what I saw from them there. They did drop for their last 5, losing at Kansas State, against Texas, beating Kansas only in overtime, getting destroyed by Oklahoma State, and then losing to Baylor in overtime. So this team could be in a better spot, but I don't know. They also lost their coach, so I mean maybe that hurts the offense. You got Tommy Tuberville leaving for the Nasty Natty. So we'll see how that goes, but I don't think this offense is going to get stopped. So what are your keys for Minnesota?
Minnesota, if you're a cornerback or a safety playing for them, you have to play the game of your life, honestly. If I'm being honest, I mean, it's just that's brutal honesty. You have to be playing at the top of your game if you're going to want to stop this passing offense. Because if you take that passing offense out of the equation, you have a chance to win. Because, I mean, if Texas Tech, everybody knows that's all they do is pass. I mean, yeah, they run a little bit, but if you can shut down the pass, you really got a pretty good chance to win. And Donnell Kirkwood's got to step up on the other side of the ball and have a decent game and get some touches and get some touchdowns. Or else Minnesota's just going to be manhandled and walked all over this game. But anything could happen. It's bowl season.
That's true. Anything can happen. I think for me, or for Texas Tech, I mean, me talking about Texas Tech, I think the only thing Texas Tech needs to do is just Seth Dagey needs to find his wide receivers, run that crisp air raid offense, hit the short little routes, because Minnesota doesn't really have an offense. Texas Tech has a decent defense. I mean, they do give up a lot of points, but again, they played in a Big 12 where offense is everywhere. So, I mean, maybe they could, when they play teams like New Mexico and Iowa State, teams with subpar offenses, they did shut those teams down. So, we'll see how that goes. I think that Texas Tech can win this game easy. So, what is your prediction for the game?
Well, Texas Tech scoring almost 40 points a game and Minnesota allowing a lot. I see this being a pretty lopsided game. I see Minnesota competing at first, but then the depth of Texas Tech and the passing offense dominance really starts to show in the second half. And I predict that Minnesota's going to score some points, but just not really enough to walk out with a win. And I'm going to say Texas Tech 38 and Minnesota 10.
Yeah, I like that. For me, I don't really think Minnesota's going to compete at all. The points against, they gave up about 24 a game, and I think that's a little inflated, I guess. Either way, I don't think the defense is that good. They did play in a subpar Big Ten. Not a lot of good offense in the Big Ten. Northwestern wasn't really that good. They only gave up 21 to them. Michigan, they only gave up 35. Michigan State, who had a really bad offense, they only gave up 26. So I think Minnesota is going to get their wheels blown off. I think they're going to, get brought back down to earth. They're in a bowl game for the first time in a while, I think.
Yeah.
So I think Texas Tech's going to bring them down to earth, make them realize that the Big Ten has no place trying to play with the Big 12 this season, and I think Texas Tech wins huge, 45-10.
Wow. Bold statement.
Very bold.
Yeah, the thing about these bowl games, as we've shown in the past, that really anything can happen, so don't take our score predictions to the grave with you.
Oh my God, don't take them. SMU, Fresno State, we are so sorry, Fresno State fans. But that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about the Bell Helicopter Armed Forces Bowl between Rice and Air Force. UFC Wildcat and Powder Blue Bolts signing out.